From Arkansas's breaking news leader, Fox 16 News at 9 starts now.
Mr. Chairman, I move that in the matter of Charles Starks versus the City of Little Rock, that we uphold the city's determination to terminate the employment of Officer Starks.
In a unanimous decision late tonight, the Civil Service Commission upholds a decision to fire a Little Rock police officer after a fatal shooting back in February. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Kevin Kelly.
I'm Donna Terrell. Fox 16's Mitch McCoy. He has been in this hearing since about 8 o'clock this morning. This has been a 15-hour-long hearing, and it has certainly been a long day. Finally, though, tonight, a decision. Yeah, the biggest witness of the day coming from the city. They called Assistant Chief Wayne Bewley to testify. Bewley was the acting chief when the February shooting happened. He testified saying the mayor's office asked about firing Starks, but testified he believed it was because the mayor was new to the job and it was a learning curve for the mayor. He says while the case was rushed, he approved overtime and ordered all hands on deck to make sure the case was complete. The city has argued that Starks did not follow policy while conducting a felony traffic stop. Here's what the internal affairs investigator testified to earlier today.
He moved in front of a car, which brought two deadly force issues into the equation. The guy may have a gun, turned out he did. The guy may hit him with a car. Turned out he did. Starks previously testified he was in fear of his life at the time, and the car Bradley Blackshire was driving paused briefly, and that is when he tried going back to his patrol car. But as we know, the car Blackshire was in started moving, and that's when shots were fired. Starks' team will likely appeal tonight's decision in circuit court. We will continue to follow this story. You can get more information tonight on fox16.com and when you get up in the morning and watch Good Day starting at 7. A White County couple behind bars tonight, accused of shooting a man and stealing his car. The sheriff's office says it happened along Kensett Road this morning. Fox 16's Rochelle Turner following the story all day and joins us live from the sheriff's office with more on the arrests and what happened. Rochelle.
Well, Kevin, Donna, good evening to you. That stolen car and those suspects, 24-year-old Jake Brown and 21-year-old Carissa Miller, were found in Jackson County. Tonight, they're facing a number of charges here at the White County Detention Center. Today, I spoke to several people in the small town of Kensett. They say it's always quiet. They couldn't remember the last time something bad happened. And today, they said they were shocked to learn what had happened. Old Kensett Road in Kensett.
I travel this road every day. Sometimes 6 or 7 times a day.
The road sits between Kensett and Jutsonia. It was turned into a crime scene Wednesday morning.
Hearing that is very shocking.
The White County Sheriff's Office says a man stopped to help Jake Brown and Carissa Miller on the side of the road. Officials say the man was shot and his car was stolen.
I've been here 41 years and I've never heard of anything like that ever happening. I mean, because usually you can stop and help somebody and nothing like that will happen to you. So that's very shocking.
The man was taken to a hospital in Searcy.
I'm praying for him and his family.
Officials say OnStar located the stolen car in Jackson County.
Somebody just being selfish and careless, had nothing else to do.
Christy Chapman has called Kensett home for over 40 years and says everyone knows each other.
We help anybody. Whether it's a stranger, somebody you know, we help anybody.
For now, she says she's going to be careful when it comes to helping others.
In the daytime, I would probably, if I don't know you, I'm not going to stop to help you. And I hate to be like that, but nowadays you just don't know.
Now, Brown is facing a number of charges, including criminal intent to commit capital murder, aggravated robbery, and possession of a firearm. Miller is facing charges of conspiracy to commit capital murder and also aggravated robbery. They're set to appear in court later this year.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about the victim. How's he doing tonight? What's going on there?
Well, Donna, I spoke to the sheriff about 5 minutes ago. He told me the victim, who they have now released his name as Jeffrey Burton of Heber Springs. He told me he was shot in the head, and tonight he's lucky to be alive. But the sheriff said he did not know if Burton was still at the hospital at this hour.
Okay. All right. Rochelle Turner. in White County. Thank you.
Little Rock police are investigating the city's 30th homicide of the year. Officers were called out to 13th and Arch Street last night at around 9 o'clock. They found 27-year-old Clinton Burrell Jr. in the driver's seat of a car. He had been shot. Police say the car crashed into a cemetery wall. This, by the way, is the third fatal shooting Little Rock police have investigated in just the past week.
Each loss of life is just important, as you know, the previous ones. We want to make sure we do a thorough investigation. We get evidence that's here at the scene, as well as and try to locate anyone that may have seen something or heard something there.
So far, no arrests have been made. If you can help police, be sure to give them a call.
And Jonesboro police are also investigating a homicide on the southwest side of town. Around 6:45 last night, officers say 33-year-old Felicia Chanel was reported missing after she didn't pick up her kids from school. A short time later, officers were sent to the house because a family member found her body in a bedroom. No arrests have been made in this case at this time, but we will continue to keep you updated as soon as we learn more.
Hurricane Durian, now a Category 2, packing 110-mile-per-hour winds. The storm is making its way up the east coast of Florida and the Carolinas. It's already battering cities along the ocean with rain, fierce winds, and, of course, heavy surf. While some communities have been able to lift evacuation orders, others are now going into effect. A hurricane warning now extends from north of the Savannah River all the way up the coast of the Carolinas to Virginia.
North Carolina faces deadly storm surge and inland flooding.
As for South Carolina, the forecast surge is a dangerous one, only 2 feet short of breaking an all-time record set during Hugo. Durian, by the way, could reach the coasts of the Carolinas by tomorrow.
Now, weather to plan your day with meteorologist Hayden Nix.
And while our forecast stays fairly quiet, I want to continue that conversation about Durian here. Within the next hour, the National Hurricane Center will provide another update with regards to how this is continuing to track here. And notice we're still at sustained winds of 110 miles per hour, moving off towards the north at 8, but it will make an eventual curve off towards the northeast with an assistance of a front that is also impacting us. But notice here, new guidance is suggesting, and the forecast track, likely landfall possible across portions of the Carolina coastline, and it looks more favored towards northern Carolina. But as I mentioned, storm surge is going to be a really big problem here because you've got the wind flow heading straight out of the ocean towards the inland areas there, so that's going to be a factor, as well as torrential rainfall and then consistent high wind speeds too. So they're not out of the woods just yet. Certainly some of these folks just getting started, but all of this should be moving away from the Carolinas and moving back out to sea by Friday night. So still have a couple more days to deal with this. But as I mentioned, a cold front is going to help turn this off towards the northeast here, and it is impacting us. We've got it stalled out about halfway through the state right now, and it is going to help some locations feel a little bit cooler and a little bit drier tomorrow. But the problem is it's a very short-lived situation, and many will not notice it at all. Tonight we're going with 73 degrees. Tomorrow, not being felt in Little Rock, 94 for a high. Some locations will top out in the 80s. Some will be near 100 degrees. And we're going to continue this hot trend over the next several days. We might have a little bit of relief in sight, too. We're going to break it all down for you in just a little bit. Donna?
All right, Hayden, thank you. And tonight's State of the Nation. The federal government awarding more than $1 billion in funding to states to help them continue the fight against opioid abuse. The natural state will receive nearly $13 million in grants over the next 3 years. It will be used to expand access to treatment, among other things. Washington, D.C. correspondent Trevor Shirley reports this federal measure comes after data shows opioid deaths are finally dropping after decades.
President Trump hopes a $1.8 billion infusion will be enough to keep up the fight against opioids.
These funds will be delivered to the communities where the help is most needed.
Under the plan, all 50 states will get some cut of the money through grants, with the flexibility to use those funds in a way that makes sense for them.
That can mean everything from expanding the use of medication-assisted treatment in criminal justice settings, or in rural areas via telemedicine.
Beyond that, officials want to speed up collection of opioid abuse data, which usually lags about a year behind.
These grants will also support state and local governments in obtaining high-quality, comprehensive data so that we can help the most people and save the most lives.
Last year, the U.S. saw a nearly 5% drop in the number of opioid-related deaths. It's the first time that number's fallen in 20 years. The administration says that's proof its policies are working, even though data shows abuse of other drugs like meth is on the rise.
Nothing is more important than defeating the opioid and addiction crisis.
A crisis law enforcement has seen play out firsthand. Patrick Yos is national president of the Fraternal Order of Police.
We need to really take a good, strong look at all of the components that have created this crisis, and we need to get a handle on it because it is tearing families apart.
Reporting in Washington, I'm Trevor Shirley.
So what impact do you think this might have in the long run? Good question, right? Well, you can join in on the conversation. Just feel free to leave a comment on our post. You'll find it on our Fox 16 Facebook page.
Yeah, I posted that earlier today, and boy, the comments are flooding in.
Well, you know, whenever you talk about opioid abuse and addiction, so many people are affected by it. So many people struggling with it, either with themselves or a family member or someone close to them.
Yeah, and not just here.